A U.S. Army retired veteran and also the co-founder of Humble Warrior Wellness and Yoga. Today we'll do a short Yin practice. So Yin follows a Chinese lineage. You tend to do fewer postures, you hold them longer, and there's three principles. So the first thing is you want to find your edge. It's a southern saying that you have to be comfortably uncomfortable. So find the soft side of your edge or maybe the strong side of your edge, but we definitely don't want you pulling any muscle. Okay. Then you want to find stillness. Stillness, you might want to have some props, a block, a blanket, something to tuck in between your body and the floor. That allows you to hold a posture with stillness. You can still do some micro movements because again, we will hold them longer. And then time, we'll do this together. We'll do the time together. So find your edge, find stillness, and then do the time. So I made this little practice because I have a lot of friends, a lot of veteran and first responder friends that are runners or hikers, and they're just constantly kind of tight, even though their cardio is excellent. So I invite you to do a Yin practice. I think Yin makes you better at everything you do, but everything you do does not make you better at Yin. So we're going to start out in this little hero pose. You can sit on your heels. You can sit between your heels, but this might not feel good on your knees, or you can use a block. So I will sit on a block just to make it comfortable. I want you to sit tall, find length in your spine, shoulders back. Close your eyes or lower your gaze, soften the gaze. And just exhale. Feel present on your mat. Find that stillness. Feel the support. Your bones are stacked. You're on the block. You're on your mat. And we can just do some time. I invite you to cultivate a belly breath where you inhale and allow the belly to expand, the side belly first. Draw it up to your chest and then exhale, release. This allows us to just kind of dial down. For many, the hardest part of Yin is just sitting still, the quietness, the stillness. We like to be human doings and not human beings. So we're going to add a little breath-aligned movement and a spinal twist. So we'll bring our hands in front of us, palms facing each other. Inhale up, really reaching, wiggling the fingers. Exhale, twisting to the left, maybe gazing back. Inhale up, facing forward. Exhale, twisting to the right. And then we'll just alternate. Inhale up, maybe match your inhale with your arms. Exhale down, really push the exhale out. Inhale up, facing forward, feeling that length in your spine. Exhale down. Inhaling up, facing forward. Exhale down. Inhale up, maybe give the fingers a little wiggle, stay in the body. Exhale down. Inhale up. And just climb an imaginary rope. Just stretching side to side, stretching the obliques. This is like climbing the easiest rope ever. And pause. So the lower body actually got a little stretch here and we lengthened our spine. We're going to move into a toe stretch because a lot of runners wear very super structured shoes. So we want to back into our toes. Sit our hips on our heels, but this could feel very intense. If it's too intense, come up on the knees. It's still a toe stretch. So you can be up here or down here. I'm going to sit on my toes. Bring our hands together, long spine. Firm pressure on the hands, on the front and back. And just start rotating my hands toward my chest. I'm gazing at my own hands, turning inward, letting the noise of the world just fall away. And then I'll rotate the opposite way. Whatever we do in one direction, let's do in the other. I can bring my arms out, reach for the horizon, make some loose fists, rotate the wrists. You might hear some snapping and popping. That's okay. Change direction. And then just flick each finger. All the while, my toes, lower body's getting a little stretch here. We can add some shoulder rolls to the back. Explore your range of motion. Yin is slow. We're holding the bottom half very long. And then change direction. Hold your posture. I'll just turn toward the camera, maintaining my toe stretch or coming up on my knees. You can add a little tricep stretch. Maybe you press on the tricep or reach behind you, interlace your hands, keep the eyes at the horizon. Just adding a little tricep stretch. So this is kind of a yin fusion, not a pure yin class, because I'm adding a little movement to the upper body. Switch sides. Because a lot of us who served find it a little challenging just to be still. And release. We'll come off the heels and just find a nice little tabletop position. So in tabletop, my wrists are under my shoulders, knees are under my hips. We're going to tap the feet out, put some energy in. And if you have some achy wrists, you can always roll your mat and place the heel of your hand up a little higher. Take some pressure off the wrists. Do what's right for you. So I'm in this nice tabletop. And I'm just going to do a little cat-cow, little flexion and extension of the spine, rounding the upper back, and then arching. In traditional yoga, the next posture is thread the needle. They call it quarter dog with a twist. A lot of things in yin are named after what you see in nature. So exhaling into the right hand, float the left hand up. Exhale, release, and come down, resting the head and shoulders. So again, I want to find my edge. Maybe I reach the right arm forward. Exhale, release the arm. And then I want to find stillness. How do I have to hold my body that I can hold stillness? And then do the time. So in a traditional yin class, like a level 1 we'll say, you're going to hold that posture 1 to 3 minutes. Maybe an intermediate yin, 3 to 5, and an advanced class, 5 to 7. That's a really long time, so you have to be careful coming out of the posture. Just as mindful as going into the posture. So I'm rotating my hand just to see my watch, but you can have your left palm up to the ceiling. So in a yin class, you'll notice the instructor probably talk to you a little more to kind of take your mind off holding the posture, doing the time together, but it's still a personal practice. You're still invited to turn inward. If you hold it for a while and feel like you have to make some adjustments, you can, but try and make some little micro movements. So here I'm going to leave my body in this nice aligned position, or perhaps I reach up, create space, and bring it to my tailbone, left hip, or a bind, and open that right shoulder a little more. If that becomes achy, I can come right back into good alignment. Do what's right for your body. If you're in the bind, you can release it, bring your hand down, press the body up. Inhale, float the left arm up. Exhale, release. I'll turn to the other side. This time we'll exhale into the left hand. Float the right arm up. Exhale, release. Come through for quarter dog with a twist. Rest on the shoulder, rest the head. Maybe that left arm comes out to the front. Exhale, release the left shoulder, armpit toward the mat. and find that comfortable position. Find the stillness. You have your edge, you have your stillness, and then we'll do the time. So stay there holding the position. I'm going to grab my watch so I can monitor the time a little easier. And you might have to use some self-talk. Just make sure it's positive. Like maybe exhale, release. So yin, the benefits of yin is you get at stickiness, you get at fascia, you get at ligaments, you get at scar tissue. And where alignment's really important so that our bones are kind of holding us up and not our muscles. We're not looking to go to muscle fatigue. This is about, getting into that layer of fascia that's just under the skin. So some of us might be recovering from injuries or illness or procedures. Kind of helps soften some of that scar tissue even. You can stay here, or maybe you want to add that little space. Bring your arm down to your tailbone, hip, or add the bind, opening the left shoulder a little more. If your hips shift away to one side, draw them back to neutral. And again, today we're going to hold them for a beginner level of yin. So we can release the bind, press ourselves up, float that right arm up, and exhale, release. I'll turn back to the other side. So after working the shoulders a little bit, we want to come down and find the posture of Sphinx. So we're going to lay all the way down on the belly. So laying down, I like to lower my head on stacked hands, lengthen the legs behind. Bring the fingertips under onto the mat toward the shoulders. Press up and come down on the forearms. So now my shoulder and my elbow is aligned. I spread my hands like a star, and you have this play on your mat. So I'm going to scrub my body forward, isometrically draw my thumbs together. My eyes are at the horizon. If I'm way down here in my shoulders, I'm going to push my shoulders away from my ears. If this isn't accessible, then just walk your Sphinx posture forward, resting on the low rib cage. Make it work for you. So I'll come back to a normal Sphinx pose. So this is a back bend. I'm pressing into my feet, my hips, my elbows, drawing my shoulders away from my ears, isometrically drawing the thumbs together, pressing in. So there's a lot of activation even in the upper part of my body. I'm going to unclench my glutes and hold this mighty Sphinx position. Again, find the edge. Maybe I press down. Maybe I walk my elbows forward. Then find stillness. Can I hold the posture? And then time. We'll do the time together. Holding the body still. If you'd like to complete the back bend, you can lift your chin up, going into a deeper back bend. You can even explore lowering the chin down. Might feel good to open up the back of the neck, but stay out of the shoulders. We don't want to come down here. We want to press our shoulders away from the ears, pressing into the elbows. And then maybe just return back, eyes at the horizon, into the Sphinx pose. After we've held this posture, the duration of time, we're going to exhale, come down, make a little hand pillow, this time in the opposite direction, rest the head, draw the legs in tight like a fishtail or mermaid, big toes touch, heels fall apart, and then just rock the hips side to side, releasing any tightness or tension. That's your little rebound pose after holding a pose a little bit longer. Bring the fingertips under the shoulders, press yourself up. And we'll just come into a wide-legged child's pose, sinking our hips back, resting on the forehead. Now again, this is working our hips, Low back is getting a stretch. Spine is long. You can always walk the hands to one side. Come back to center, walk them to the other, or just remain in stillness. Sometimes adding a little bit of movement allows us to hold a posture a little longer. Again, you can use props. So if you'd like to put a blanket under the knee pit and do it at an elevated position, you can. Draw a breath from the mat. Bring it up into the back body. Exhale, release. After you've held this for your duration, you can walk the hands toward your seat. And then we're going to turn all the way over and find a nice dragonfly or straddle position. It's a nice V. So I push through the heel, invite the toes to the nose, because when we sit in a V, a lot of times our legs like to point and roll in, which can stress the knee. So we're sitting in this nice V. I bring my hands back, scrub forward. I'm pushing my body forward, so I'm on the front of my sits bones. Perhaps you just sit in this nice tall V, dragonfly, or you come down to a block, or perhaps you come down to your forearms, stacked fists, or the floor. Whatever feels good, but we're keeping the feet flexed and we're doing the time together. So I will come up here. Maybe after you've stayed in this for a little while, you find you can scrub or press into it a little deeper. Holding the posture, getting a nice stretch. When we release or come out of this, we're just going to draw the soles of the feet together. Little bit of dynamic movement as a rebound or windshield wipe side to side. Send those legs long. We'll come into a spinal twist. Draw the left leg forward, step it over the right leg. Right elbow hugs the left knee, sit tall. You can stay right here or float the left arm up and add a little twist. And we'll stay here. Perhaps you count 5 breaths. We'll untwist on an inhale. So inhale and twist and release. Send the leg long, wiggle. Then draw that right knee in, cross it over. Left elbow hugs the right knee, sit tall. Maybe you add the twist. Inhale the right arm up, exhale. And we take the same breaths on this side. We'll always inhale and untwist facing the front. And in Yin, your Shavasana or final posture is usually a little shorter because all the postures are held so long. So you can lie in traditional corpse pose or explore pentacle, which is just kind of like a star. This is the Yin Shavasana. And just feel supported. And you can lay here as long as you want, as long as you need. Staying there, I will come up to a seated position and just invite you to notice all the points your body comes in contact with the floor. You're supported. There's a quiet support of doing this practice with me or someone else in the room. Come out of your Shavasana whenever you want. Find a seated position. Hold that stillness. Thank you for doing Yin with Humble Warrior. Peace.